Today I'm going to demonstrate the Fortress Mobile SureBus fleet management solution. The first thing we're going to do is navigate to the SureBus website. This is our login page. Type in your login ID and your password and we're going to log right in. Once we've logged in, the first window we're going to come to is the dashboard. The dashboard is going to show us all of our vehicles that are online, offline, and vehicles that are online with errors. The gray arrows indicate that the vehicle is offline, the green arrows indicate that the vehicle is online, and the red arrows indicate that the vehicle is online, but there's been some sort of error. This could be an error with the DVR, or it could be an issue with the driver's behavior. By selecting one of these arrows, we're going to bring up all the information that's been assigned to that vehicle. First tab we're going to see is the bus information. This is going to display any of the information that we've put in here for this vehicle, and later on I'm going to show you where this information comes from. The next tab we have is the driver information tab. This is going to display all the information for the driver that has been assigned to this vehicle at this time. The next tab that we have is the route information tab, and this is going to display the route that has been assigned to this vehicle at this time. Now keep in mind, this may change throughout the day. If we assign a route and driver to this vehicle in the morning and we're clicking on this vehicle in the morning, it's going to show us that AM route and AM driver. But if we have a different driver and a different route assigned in the PM and we click on this vehicle in the PM, it's going to show us the information for the driver and the route that has been assigned to that vehicle at that time. The next tab that we have is the alarm information tab. This is going to display any errors with the DVR, and it's also going to display driver behavior errors, whether it's hard acceleration, hard braking, or speeding. One of the last things I want to show you is what this alarm information looks like when we do have an alarm. On M19 we can see that we have video loss channel 1 and channel 2. Now this is great because we don't have to wait until the next time we pull video to see that channel 1 and channel 2 aren't recording for whatever reason. We've identified that this is an issue right away, and when this vehicle comes back into the shop we can address this issue right away. The last tab is going to be our real-time video tab. By selecting any one of these cameras within this vehicle, we're going to be able to see what's going on inside that vehicle in real time. You can load multiple channels at once, but keep in mind that we are using cellular data and we're going to want to keep an eye on that. And later on in this video, I'll show you where we can monitor that. If we come up here and look at the computer's time and compare it to the time on the DVR, we can see that the times are matched, so this is indeed live video. The last thing we're going to see is the vehicle time and vehicle speed. Let's go back up to the top of the screen and look at some of our icons up here. This first tab is going to display how many vehicles we have online, our bus on time percentage, and the total miles that we've driven this month. We also have the total alerts for the day. The next tab is our status tab. By checking either one of these boxes, we can display online vehicles only or offline vehicles only. This next tab is the bus type. If you have different types of vehicles in your fleet, whether they may be wheelchair lift buses, minivans, full-size buses, you can actually categorize your buses within this program. And then by selecting and checking any one of these boxes, we'll be able to just see that type of vehicle. Bus group, this is very similar to bus type. We have the ability in this program to put the vehicles in different groups. We could have an east side group and a west side group, or however you would like to organize this. It's very similar to type, and it gives you another way to organize your buses and a way to view just that bus group. The next tab is the area tab. This tab is going to display our geofences, and by checking any one of these boxes is going to show us geofences that we've created on the map. This is a sample geofence that I've created, and later on I'm going to show you how easy it is to create one of these geofences. Let's navigate away from the dashboard and come up to our Reports tab. The first thing we're going to check out is our school bus report. This is the school bus reporting tab, and this first report we have here is a track report. Above the map we're going to be able to see vehicle start time, vehicle stop time, we're going to see idle time, and we're going to see the speed of the vehicle throughout the day. One of the first things we're going to do is select the vehicle, And then we're going to come over here and select the date that we would like to view. As we can see, we have engine start time, engine stop time, engine idle time, and then the speed of the vehicle throughout the day. When we come to the map below, we're going to be able to see everywhere that the vehicle has been that day. If we come to the bottom left corner and hit this play button, this is going to play the route of the vehicle throughout the day. Now this vehicle was sitting for a little bit, so we're going to fast forward this so we can see this play. While we're replaying the vehicle's route for the day, in the track report above we can see that it's matching up with the vehicle's route on the map below. One of the other things that we can do is switch this to a satellite view, and we can zoom in on our vehicle. This is giving us kind of a bird's eye view of what the vehicle has done today. If we come over to the stop arm tab, this is something that's going to be released very, very soon that you'll be able to see. And what this tab is going to do is show us everywhere that the vehicle stopped along its route on this day, and it's going to give us a date, time, and duration that the vehicle was at each stop. So keep an eye out for this feature. It is coming soon. Our next report is our idle time report. This is going to give us a nice pie chart and show us the idle time percentage for that vehicle on this particular day. The next report you're going to see is the driver attendance report. In the future, we're going to have a tablet installed inside the vehicle, and this tablet is going to accomplish multiple tasks. One of the things that it's going to allow our drivers to do is clock in and clock out for their route. And under this report, this is where you will see your drivers clock in and clock out times. The next tab that we have is our student pickup and drop-off report. In the future, this report will show you every location that the students were picked up and dropped off at. One of the features that's available that this customer we're using for the demonstration isn't currently using is a parent application that will give the parent a notification when the bus is 3, 5, or 10 minutes away from picking up their child, which means no more children standing outside on a rainy day. Our next reporting tab is our data usage report. This is going to show us data that's been used daily, and to the left here we can see the percentage of data that we've used. This gives you a way to keep track of the data usage just in case you're streaming a lot of live video that week and want to make sure that you're not going over your data limits. The next tab that we have is our Stop Arm Reporting tab. This is currently under development, and in the future, you're going to be able to manage all of your stop arm violations right here. When this feature is ready, the camera will identify a stop arm violation and tag the video. When the vehicle comes back into the bus yard, that tagged video will download over the Wi-Fi network and appear in this tab. Here, you will be able to view the video and identify if it is a violation or a false alarm. The next tab we have is our school bus alarm report. This is where we're going to be able to view all the alarms for a particular vehicle for a selected time frame. So if you'd like to view all the alarms a vehicle had for a day, a week, or a month, this is where you're going to be able to do that. Our next tab is our scheduling tab. And the first tab we're going to go to is buses. Now earlier when we clicked on the vehicle on the dashboard and we were able to see all the bus information, this is where that bus information is coming from. The next tab we have under selection is routes. This is where we're going to create our routes before assigning them. Creating a route is very simple. We're coming up to the top right, we're going to hit the plus button, and this is going to add our new route. We're going to give our route a name. We're going to assign this as a pickup route, and any additional information we would like to put in to identify this route can be put in under the Remarks tab. Now we're going to save this route that we've created. To the left here, we're going to see the new route that we've just created. Now let's add a couple of stops. Now we're going to come up to the plus button, we're going to add our stops in. We're going to give this stop a name. We're going to enter an ETA for this pickup. Any additional information that we'd like to document about this stop can go under the Remarks tab. And then we can assign the address by simply typing in the address, or we can come to this little balloon and we can select a latitude and longitude for this route. And then we're hitting the Save button. And as you can see, we've saved our first stop. What we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to continue to add additional stops. Now we can come in here and draw our route. You have two options for drawing the route. You can assign the stops and let the vehicle run, and when the vehicle does this route for its first time, it'll automatically create the route for you. The other thing we could do is manually create the route with our pencil tool. We're going to select our pencil tool and we're going to start to drop pins, and these pins are going to create and draw our route. And it's as simple as that to create your route. We're going to go back up to our scheduling tab, and the next selection is going to be scheduling. This is where we're going to create our schedules and assign them to a vehicle. We're going to give this schedule a name. Is this a pickup or drop off route? Is this a one-time route, an everyday route, or a once-a-week route? We're going to select the bus, we're going to select our route, and then we're going to select the driver that we would like to assign to this route. We're going to enter a departure time, an ending time, and a valid from time, and a valid to time. Our next tab is the user tab, and the first selection is going to be our parents. Earlier in this video, we spoke about a SureBus parental application that's available for iPhone and Android. This is where the parents' login information will be kept. The next selection under users is going to be students, and this is where we're going to put our students' information in so that we can manage our students. The next selection is our school district account. This is where you're going to be able to create new users. So let's say we have a principal that would like to view and use SureBus. We can come in here and assign them a login. And the other thing that we can do is we can assign what permissions we would like them to have. After we assign the permissions, we save this and we can provide this login information to them. The next selection under users is the parental application. Earlier I was speaking about the Android and iPhone application that parents can use to set up notifications. Access to this information is controlled by the end user. When a parent goes in to create an account, they do not have access to this information yet. That request is going to appear here, and you can verify that it is the parent, and you can grant them access to the application and to the information about their child's school bus. The next selection under this tab is going to be messaging. Within this parental application that I was just talking about, the parent has the ability to direct message the transportation director. This is where the messages will appear, and this is where you can answer the messages as well. Let's move over to the drivers tab. The first selection we're going to see under the drivers tab is drivers. This is where we're going to add our drivers and put in all of their information. Again, under the remarks tab, we can put in any additional information that is not covered within these fields. The next selection under drivers tab is pre-trip inspection. This is where we can create pre-trip inspection reports and post-trip inspection reports for different types of vehicles. For example, I can create a pre-trip inspection for a Type A school bus. And then if I come over to the right here, I can add my items. Once this report has been created, it is saved, and the driver can access this report from the driver's tablet and complete their pre-trip and post-trip inspection. Once the driver has completed their pre-trip inspection report, this is where it will appear. Let's navigate over to our settings tab. The first thing in our settings tab is going to be our border, which we spoke about earlier, and this is a geofence. This is where all your geofences are managed, and by selecting any one of these geofences, we can see its location and what vehicles have been assigned to it. The way the geofence works is it's going to give us alarm notifications for a pull-in or pull-out of either the entire fleet or select vehicles, and creating a geofence is very simple. We're going to come up to Borders and hit our plus button. We're going to give this geofence a name. Now, we can choose for all vehicles to be triggered by this geofence, or we can assign certain vehicles to be triggered by this geofence. And under the Remarks tab, we can put any additional information we would like to log about this geofence. Now we're going to come up and we're going to select our trigger type, pull in or pull out. So let's do a pull out trigger type. Now we're going to pretend for a moment that in the middle here is the school district, and these three vehicles operate within this area and they never leave this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a geofence around this area, and once this is saved, we'll get a notification if either of these three vehicles leave this designated area. To create and draw our geofence, we're going to drop pins. You can click anywhere on the map to drop a pin. By clicking and holding, you'll be able to drag the map around. We're going to save our fence, and now our geofence has been created. And now that this has been created, we'll get a notification if M10, NE64, or M9 leave this designated area. Under settings, our next selection is bus group. Now we spoke about this earlier when we were on the dashboard, and this is where we're going to create different bus groups and assign buses to that group. Now if I go back to the dashboard and select testing bus group, I will only see M19, M10, NE64, and M9 on the screen. Creating one of these bus groups is very simple. We're hitting the plus button, we're going to give this group a name, we're going to select our vehicles that we want to assign to this group, we're going to press the OK button. Any additional remarks we would like to document about this group can be typed under the Remarks tab, and then we're simply going to save this. The next selection under the Settings tab is Manage Schools. This is where we're going to put in the information about the different schools within the district. The next selection under Settings is our Data Usage Reminder. This is where we can create a data usage reminder, and if we get close to that threshold, we'll get a notification that we're getting close to that threshold. So let's pretend that we have 3 gigabytes of data. So we're going to set a reminder for 2 gigabytes. We can select an email alert or an SMS alert. We can also select the action that we would like taken. One of the things that we can do is we can stop live, or we can turn off the data service altogether. Any additional remarks we want to put in about this reminder can be put under the Remarks tab, and we're going to save this reminder. We're going to move over to our Video tab now. The first selection is Video Sniffer. This is where we're going to view the information about the Sniffer server. This isn't something that you're going to be using, this is just information for our team. The next tab is the Sniffer Client, and again, this is something that's going to be set up by our team or your IT team. The next selection under the Video tab is our Video Task. The way that the Wi-Fi auto download works is any event videos will be automatically downloaded once the vehicle returns to the yard and is within Wi-Fi range. But let's pretend for a moment that there was a fight on the vehicle and the driver never hit the panic button to trigger the event. We can go in and we can manually schedule a download. We're going to give this video a name, and here I've selected Fight Video. We're going to enter a start and end time for this video task. Do we want to do all buses, or do we just want to assign this to one bus? And the video we want is on bus M19. We have a video from date and a video to date. And then we have the video times that we would like. Do we want to download all video channels, or do we want to choose certain channels? Let's pretend that this is an 8-channel system with 4 cameras inside and 4 cameras on the outside. So we only want them internal channels. So let's go and just select the 4 internal channels. We can set up a notification for when this download has completed. These downloads will only happen when the vehicle is in the yard within Wi-Fi range and the vehicle is on. We're going to put a name in here. How would we like to be notified? Email or SMS? And then we're going to put that phone number in there if we've selected SMS, or the email in there if we've selected an email notification. And under the Remarks tab, we can add any additional information that we would like to document about this video. And then we're going to save this. Now I'm going to show you where this video will appear once it's been downloaded. We're going to come back up to our Video tab, and we're going to go into Video Manage. Here we can see that we have a folder for each of our vehicles and each of our vehicle groups. So we're going to go into our vehicle testing group folder, and we're going to select bus M9. We're going to select the year, the month, the day, and then we have 4 channels of video to view. Let's view channel 1, and we can see we have 3 different videos that have been downloaded for channel 1. Now let's pretend for a moment that I want to share this video with somebody within my organization. They don't have the playback software and they also don't have access to this SureBus cloud solution. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on the share button. We're going to select an expiration date. After the date selected, they will no longer be able to view this video. Do we want them to download this video or review this video only? Well, as I said, we're pretending that this person doesn't have access to this solution or the playback software, so we're going to select it so they can just review it. And then we're going to hit the share button. You can see we've created this unique link with a passcode. We can copy and paste this in an email and send it over to the user. That's it for today. Keep an eye out for the new SureBus features that will be coming to our users soon. And if you have a suggestion for a video, please contact our support team. If you're having an issue with SureBus, your hardware, or your playback software, we would like you to visit our website, fortressmobile.com, and submit a ticket. Enter your contact information and a description of your problem, and somebody from the Fortress Mobile support team will be in touch with you within the next 24 hours.